What we got here is the spliced bamboo spey rod. And people say to me, why the splice? And basically it's because it's sort of a natural configuration of putting the rod together. Most traditional bamboo rods have metal ferrules for joints. The trouble is that the metal doesn't bend the same way the bamboo does. This is as close as you're going to get to a perfect joint, because when you put the two pieces together, basically you're getting the action of a one-piece rod, and you're getting no stress in the joint, unlike a metal ferrule that will cause stress on both sides of the ferrule. So this transfers the stress down the rod to the thicker part of the rod, and that's where you want it to be. A lot of people are scared of the splice because they think it's difficult to do, or they think it's not going to hold the rod together well. Well, as you're going to see here, it's very quick to do, and it makes the rod really bulletproof. You're not going to break it at that point. So we've got the two splices here on the butt joint, and you can see there's a mark down here just above the little coloring there. So to make the actual splice, you take the midsection and the butt, and they've each got the splice in them, and you put them together on the mark. And this tape is a clear electrical tape. It's 7 mil thick. It's pretty tough, but it's still got some flexibility in it. And you start the tape just right at your joint there. Just stick her down, so you've got a start. Then you rotate the rod slowly, and the goal is to just overlap the tape about 1/8 of an inch. Slowly rotating the rod, pulling back on the tape, and working it up the rod till you get to the top end of the splice. As you can see, this is not going to take all that long. Now we've come up to the top of the splice, and now we're going to do what I call a quick return back down. So it's a wider bend, and we're going to go back down. We're traveling very quickly, not that tight thing. We're going to get back to the starting point. We're going to go around once, and we're going to cut it off. The splice joint, when made correctly, truly flexes like a one-piece rod. You can see the bend goes right through. So that gives you the action of a one-piece rod. There's no stress on either side of the ferrule. So it is sort of like the perfect joint. Now if you're on a trip, say to a camp or something for the week, you can leave the rod done up for the whole week. If you're someplace where you're driving around on a car, I use a rod rack carrier on my truck. And so sometimes I have my rod up for the whole season without taking it apart. Now if you're going someplace and you need to take the rod apart, say to bushwhack in and that kind of stuff, it is going to take a little extra time. So a good compromise to that, again, not quite as perfect, is going to be the composite. It's going to be the composite ferrule joint. And the composite ferrule joint is made right on the rod. So if this particular rod here is a 6-sided rod, the inside of the ferrule is a 6-sided rod, and it slides over the bamboo. It gives you a nice snug fit. This ferrule, unlike metal, has got some flex in it. It's graphite and epoxy, and it's got a little bit of flex in it. Not got quite the flex that the perfect ferrule has of this splice, but almost good enough, you know. And I've had very good luck with these ferrules, and these are good for when you're packing in someplace, or you've got to take the rod down every day, or you know, it's just something you prefer.